like to call this meeting of the City of Elkhorn Architectural Review Board and City Planning Commission to order. It's Thursday, June 5th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Meinel,
Here.
Geisling, Boardman,
Here.
Stockel,
Here.
Hunter,
Here.
Watke,
Here.
Schroeder.
Here. Our first item is the minutes from the May 15th, 2025 meeting. Did everyone get a chance to review those? Motion to approve. Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. The minutes are approved. Our first item is Roxanne Varney, Varney Automotive. Bob Lancer is the owner of the building, 325 East Court Street. Conditional use permit with a public hearing and a recommendation. So we'll start with the public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held before the Plan Commission of the City of Elkhorn on June 5th, 2025 at 6 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard in the council chambers, city administration offices, 311 Seymour Court, Elkhorn, Wisconsin, for the purpose of hearing all interested parties, their attorneys or agents, with respect to the application submitted by Roxanne Varney, Varney Automotive, for a conditional use permit to allow a continued automotive repair shop with automotive sales located at 325 East Court Street. The property is more precisely identified by the following tax parcel ID, YUNE00025A. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this matter? Seeing no one, the public hearing is closed. Allison, did you want to?
Yes, thank you very much. So the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for the continued automotive repair, but really what they're asking for is automotive sales. As you know, 325 East Court Street, the old Napa building, has been utilized for automotive repair for forever. And they were kind of grandfathered in. Within the last year, they rezoned that parcel, but they still kind of had that grandfathered use. So when they came to us and asked if they could do automotive sales, we told them that they would have to apply for a conditional use permit for that because it was not under their current activities of legal nonconforming use. It was an expansion of the legal nonconforming use. So they did go ahead and they applied for the conditional use permit. So this conditional use permit will now bring them into full compliance with our city ordinances if it gets approved. And they are asking to be able to sell one vehicle at any given time. So it's not going to turn into a car sales lot. They don't have a lot of space there. So they're just asking that at any given time, they could have one car for sale there. Other than that, their use will stay exactly as is. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Will the conditional use permit specify one car or?
It will. I do have in the conditions of approval that no more than one vehicle for sale at a time.
That picture again, Matt, can you put that up there?
Sure.
You know, this is his lot. I don't know where he intends to put it, but then you have like this sidewalk is right here. I don't know where he's going to display that, you know. If he was to move it out past the front of his building, you're on the sidewalk, you know.
Yeah, he definitely would not be able to cross the sidewalk and the vehicle would need to stay on his property.
Okay. That's the only question I had.
And I'd be even happy to put that as an additional condition if the Plan Commission feels it's necessary.
I don't think he'd do it on purpose, but my point is if you're coming up the street, you know, and say he's got it right alongside of the building, the blue building there, you wouldn't even see it, you know. It'd be kind of hard to see, and I think, but
Yeah, I agree.
as long as he keeps it back, I don't have a problem. Yeah, because he's built right on, that building's right on the sidewalk, actually.
Well, wouldn't that, even if he did, wouldn't that?
Well, I don't,
Yeah,
I don't think he would intend to park on the sidewalk, but if I had something I wanted to sell, I think I'd nudge it out there a little bit, just so he realizes, yeah, if you could add that, okay, that he has to stay back, then,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Hey, Allison, just a question for you.
Yeah.
It says on the CUP that he would have 10 parking spaces, but how many parking spaces would be available for the public, and what's the minimum number of parking spaces they have to provide for this business?
I don't know off the top of my head. It's usually a calculation like one per every couple of employees or something like that. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Didn't his write-up say he had one employee?
Yeah,
Didn't I read that somewhere
it
here?
states that there will be
Yeah.
one full-time employee.
Which is currently how they are operating. That wouldn't change at all.
Well, he's got room, it runs all the way back on his building. But I mean, if you're gonna drop something off, I guess you drop it off and then someone picks you up or you sit there and wait and, I don't think there's. What has he got in there now, Christ? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I was just asking the question because if he does park a car that's for sale towards the front of it, I'm just wondering, there's really going to be next to no public parking on the property. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if there is a lot of public, like, they're not, I don't think, really open to the public other than if they drop off or pick up. So I don't think they'd have like because it's not like a convenience store, so they probably don't have too much activity, but probably mostly for pickup, drop off.
Well, it looks like they can face at least 3 across it, so I mean, I don't see that being a problem. Obviously, they're not supposed to be parked on the sidewalk, but like I said, the picture shows you could, I mean, if you move the dumpster, you probably could get 4 across.
I'm all right with it.
I know when Van Dyke was there for 15 years with automotive repair, he used to have cars parked across the street in the fair parking lot. I don't know whether he had an agreement with them or what, but he had a lot of customer cars parked there until they picked them up.
I think that's the way that, and nothing against him, he's there for years, ran the business.
Yeah.
Sometimes he took too much, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I think this fellow seems to be like, you're in, you're out, moving it more than, but, yeah, he did, Jim,
Yeah.
and I think he didn't have no agreement. They just say, yeah, you can park some cars over there, we gotta move them, we're gonna cut the grass.
Yeah,
That's about it.
they were there for less than a day, most of them,
Yeah.
yeah.
Adam, automotive repairs, 3 spaces per repair bay plus 1 per employee in our code.
Maybe he's got 2 bays in there or 2 lifts, I don't know.
So, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve with the conditions A through G.
Is there any-
Second. So we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move that on to council. Our second item is Gerald Rossetti Jr. From 308 East Centralia Street and 315 South Jackson Street. The tax keys are YEK 00040A and YEK 00039 for a rezone with a public hearing and then a certified survey map for a discussion. So we'll do the public hearing again here. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held before the Planning Commission of the City of Elkhorn on June 5th, 2025 at 6 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard in council chambers, city administration offices, 311 Seymour Court, Elkhorn, Wisconsin, for the purpose of hearing all interested parties, their attorneys or agents with respect to a proposed amendment to the City of Elkhorn zoning map submitted by Gerald Rossetti. The City of Elkhorn seeks to amend the zoning map to rezone a portion of 315 South Jackson Street from M1 Light Manufacturing District to RS1 Single Family Residence District. The property is more precisely identified by the following tax ID, YEK 00039. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard? Seeing no one, the public hearing is closed. Allison?
Thank you. So the gentleman who lives at 308 East Centralia is looking to purchase some land from his backyard neighbor. You can see that this residential property has a very, very small backyard. So he is looking to do a CSM to combine some of the land on the other parcel into his property. That other parcel is zoned manufacturing M1, and he's zoned RS1 Single Family Residence District. So he is first seeking to rezone a very small portion of that land that he's purchasing so that it can be used for residential use, his backyard, playground set, etc. And then also doing that CSM for the lot line adjustment. I'll just note that we are recommending approval. There were some very minor comments from Kapoor, changing a couple of verbiage things on the CSM. I would say in your motion, it should reflect to include all of the comments in the Kapoor memo.
Does anybody have any questions? None? Can we get a motion then?
I'd make a motion to approve with the comments from Kapoor. And did you have any on there, Allison?
No, I don't.
Okay, just the Kapoor then.
Is that for the, do we need two motions? One for the rezone?
I
And
would
then-
probably take them separately.
Yeah,
This should be for the rezone.
okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The rezone is approved. Now the certified survey map is the next item. We have
I move to approve the survey map with the notations from Kapoor.
Second.
got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to our third item. Clint Wallish is the applicant for Walworth County Food Pantry. Jeff Gard is the agent. Tax keys YA 3969000001 and YA 4784000003, a certified survey map. Awesome.
Yes, thank you. This is right down the road from us here on George Martin Way off of Commerce Court in the business park, where Walworth County Food and Diaper Bank building is currently situated next door. They would eventually like to come back to you with a construction plan, but their first step here is to combine two parcels on that cul-de-sac of George Martin Way. So they are asking for a one-lot CSM to combine both of those parcels into one lot so that later they can build across both of them. There were some minor comments again from Kapoor on this CSM. And if you have any questions, I think somebody's here for this one.
Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question. When the city sold that parcel to the food pantry, I know there's a condition in there that if they don't build on it within 3 years, that the city can buy it back. So I'm wondering how we would buy that back if it's been merged with the other parcel.
That's a great question. Probably for legal. I don't know how to answer that. You didn't sell both of them to them?
The city did sell the first parcel to them years ago, but I don't think that
Okay.
condition was included in there. I know it was included in the more recent one.
I'm not sure on that one.
How timely of a situation is this? Should we get some legal advice and bring this back? I mean, is that a hardship?
Jeff from Holmes, Clint was unable to make it tonight, he's traveling. I guess, I don't know, I know they were chomping at the bit. The impression I got was they were gonna combine the lots, go to some design and build, but that comes as a complete shock to me, this discussion we're having.
No, they're gonna build up both.
Yeah, I've seen a preliminary plan and they're gonna build right across the middle of both of them. They've come to me with like a preliminary drawing, so I have a general idea of what they're looking to do here, but I don't know their exact timeline, but I thought they were gonna move fairly quickly.
Do we know when the clock started?
The 3-year clock?
Mhm.
No, I am not involved in the purchasing of the land at all.
That's only, what, 3 months ago or so?
It wasn't-
Adam, it wasn't a long time ago.
No, that's what I was actually looking at. Looks like the closing happened January of 2025, so the clock obviously would have just started.
So is it possible to put a contingency in there that it is in the time window or X? So we can move forward on this, because it's kind of moot if they're gonna put something in front of the planning commission here and, 1 or 2 meetings down the road.
Yeah.
I would think we need to clarify that legally.
We could, my recommendation would be to keep it moving for the applicant. We could table it, get legal's opinion right away, and bring it back to our next June meeting. We have a meeting June 19th, and that's in a couple of weeks. And this wouldn't require a public hearing or anything like that. So I could get that feedback from our city attorney and then put it right back on.
Yes.
So that'd be in 2 weeks.
So, just so I understand, was this we need to build in the first 3 years, or we cannot build in the first 3 years?
You need to.
You have to, yeah.
Because My understanding is, and I believe they, you know, they submitted the plan of operations as part of this, so that it can be reviewed. They're moving fast. I mean, they've been pushing me to get this submitted and then it done, so I'm convinced that they're moving forward. They submitted the plan of operations, I think that's in the packet. I think the zoning administrators pointed out that they're moving forward. You could table it, but I guess my question would be, this is the plan commission, if I'm not correct, and this is my first time here, so excuse me for not knowing the process, but if this is the plan commission, you gotta make a recommendation to the board at a future meeting. I'm wondering what is the downside of recommending approval? The board still gets the final say to act, I believe, or the council. And theoretically, in that time frame, the schedule could be clarified? Question mark? Just to keep things shuttling forward on my end. I mean, you guys hold the golden goat because you can not sign the map. I mean, that's, you know, pending all the processes being
Right.
checked, so.
Adam, what's your opinion on it?
That's really a question for the planning commission and Allison, whether you feel comfortable making a recommendation contingent on the city attorney. Again, the issue just is if, and I understand they seem like they're itching to go, and I'm sure they probably are, but I know this project has kind of started and stopped at least several times. So, you know, is there a chance that the project, you know, gets merged and then they go to build and they don't have the financing and the project sits for a while and then, you know, 3 years from now, the city's trying to exercise our option and what's going to happen, so.
And I do know that the city council sits pretty hard on, you know, where we've been stung before in the industrial park, where somebody buys a parcel and instead of building on it, they're just hanging on to it because they know that Tim's business next door needs that. So to get out of that type of thing, that's why we put those limits on, you know, like 3 years you have to build or we're buying it back. So I know they stand pretty hard on that. The council does.
I'd agree with that. Do we want to approve this with the condition that the legal matter will be rectified by so we have a council meeting on the
16th.
Yeah.
16th?
I guess, do we think that we could get it clear from our attorney to get that clear by that time? I don't know,
16th.
you know. That's,
Well, if the attorney was here tonight, would it be cleared?
if she was here tonight?
Yes.
We'd at least have an opinion.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly, it's one,
Yes, you're right.
Well, I'm just going to enter defense, Allison. We didn't think it was necessary for her to come tonight, so that's why she's not here.
Yeah, we thought this would be straightforward. Adam must have forgot about that little contingency of purchase.
Well, I guess I would make the motion to approve this with the contingency that this legal matter gets solved before the council meeting on the 16th, you
Right.
said?
Yeah.
We should have an opinion from the
As long
attorney.
as, yeah. as
And
long as-
and the council can always table it if they have to.
The
Right.
council can table it, yeah.
But we'll at least keep it moving,
Yep.
okay? I'm in favor of it. I'll second that.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I think that's very fair, thank you.
Yep,
The meeting is the 16th
Yeah.
yep.
at
Here at 5:30.
5:30.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Now, do we have any discussion items?
I don't have anything.
Okay, so are we having a meeting on June 19th? Or no, today is, no,
today's the
that's it, 5th, yeah, so
Yep.
19th.
Yep, we are having a meeting June 19th.
But we are not having one on the
July.
Or,
July 3rd.
yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Show up anybody in town.
I move for adjournment?
So, second,
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.